Friends, earlier we reflected on the theme of stewardship. All of us are stewards of God. Yes, He entrusted the whole of creation to our care, and this is our topic for today's episode. Let us recall the creation of human beings. God said, "Let us make humans in our image, according to our likeness, and let them rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the sky, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." Then God bestowed a threefold blessing on the first human beings. Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth, and subdue it, and rule over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the sky, and over every living thing that moves on the earth. These solemn words pronounced by God at creation gave humans dominion, or rule, or power over all of His creation. God, who has the supreme and sovereign power, shared His authority over His creation and creatures. In fact, it was affirmed by the psalmist, "You made Him to rule over the works of your hands. You have put all things under His feet." Wow, what a privilege! But on the other hand, the authority to rule is also the responsibility to act rightly and justly in relation to creation. As God's stewards, we are to act according to what God wills. We notice that accountability is affixed to the command to subdue the earth. If we look at it, to subdue means to gain an understanding of and mastery over creation. We are commissioned and delegated stewards of God's creation, and we must bring this material world and its elements to the service and the good of all humankind. Now, when God gave us dominion over animals, it was not an order to suppress or abuse these creatures. Rather, it was an order to care for, to tend them to the fullest of their potentials. Just because we rule over animals doesn't mean we have the right to mistreat them. The Catechism reminds us, it is contrary to human dignity to cause animals to suffer or die needlessly. Let us learn from Saints Francis of Assisi and Philip Neri, who treated animals with care. Further, we are also taught that animals, plants, and all other inanimate beings and organisms are by nature destined for the common good of past, present, and future humanity. Hence, our so-called dominion over these creatures is not absolute. It is limited by concern for the quality of life of others, especially the generations to come. Would there be animals or fishes or birds still for them to behold? Would there be plants or flowers or trees still for them to see? This authority we possess requires respect for the integrity of God's creation. So friends, I would like to remind you, while it is true that animals, plants, and all other creatures are ordained by God as resource for humans and are subject to us, we must treat them in a humane and reasonable manner. Let us not forget that if we were given the responsibility by God to look after them on His behalf, we are the ones accountable to God. And so let us be wise, responsible, and benevolent stewards of God's creation.